Hello. You're probably wondering who am I and why my first video ever is titled Skyrim Modded Playthrough Prelude. Well, I can answer the first question right now. I am Type 1 Dragon, a fan of the Elder Scrolls series and many other role-playing games. The second question needs a little bit more explanation than one sentence can offer. So, why have my first videos on YouTube be about a 10-year-old game? The hype is gone. Why Skyrim? I want to start on YouTube with something that I know quite well, but by no means am an expert of. I don't know every single glitch or exploit, nor plan to use any, since this is a decently mod playthrough. More on that in a little bit. Skyrim was my first introduction to the RPG genre, which opened the door to the games of the past such as Oblivion and the Witcher series. Skyrim, like for many of us, has a special place in our hearts. Plus, Starfield isn't out yet, so Skyrim is the best bet for Bethesda games, and as Skyrim was an introduction to the RPG genre, it's only fair that my introduction to YouTube is about Skyrim. Now, what are my plans for this playthrough, and who will be the character that I'll be telling the story of? This playthrough is heavily inspired by YouTubers Gopher and Zero Period Productions, Gopher being the bigger influence out of the two. The character we'll be following is a Nord warrior named Eirik Oddrson, whose mother was a priestess of Kine named Ulla, and his father a guard and imperial soldier named Oddar. Eirik comes from a long line of proud sons of Skyrim. However, he isn't inclined to immediately follow Ulfric and his Stormcloaks, for after his parents had passed away many years ago, Eirik traveled Tamriel, getting to know the other races, their cultures, and expanding his point of view from that of a Nord living in Skyrim all his life. He is a changed man and a torn man between the Imperial Legion and Stormcloak rebels, between the empire forged by Talos and the ancient clan that holds to the old ways. As this is a modded playthrough, I quickly want to cover some of the mods I'll be using to change up the feel of the game, but I'll have every mod listed in the description, so if you so desire, can use them as well. My main mods are Cathedral Weathers to change the look and feel of Skyrim, Ordinary Perk Overhaul to completely overhaul the perk system, coupled with Apocalypse Magic mod that adds in a ton of new spells for each of the schools of magic, Immersive HUD to make everything look nice and clean HUD-wise, and Wildcat to make the game more challenging. I do want to say this will be on Master difficulty. There are also a trio of mods to make the game feel more immersive. These mods are Campfire, Eye Needs, and Frostfall. These mods work together to make the player feel less like a juggernaut that never needs to eat, sleep, or drink, and into more of an actual person that needs all those things to survive. Campfire allows the player to make campsites to rest at night. Eye Needs adds in a system that forces the player to eat, sleep, and drink regularly to keep from suffering heavy debuffs. And Frostfall makes the player feel like they're venturing in a harsh, cold land that Skyrim is supposed to be, where I must plan out my journey carefully in order to keep from suffering from hypothermia. These mods and many more aim to make Skyrim into a more in-depth RPG, which should make this series and playthrough quite interesting. I will say another mod I have and probably need to do more testing of is Immersive Creatures. If you know anything about that mod, there are some creatures I buy that just one-shot you, especially early on. So this is going to be very interesting to play. But with all that said, I'm excited to start this journey with Eirik and YouTube. Episode 1 should have came by boat. Will be released within the coming weeks, hopefully. Until then, stay safe out there. And as Eirik would say, may the widow guide you all.